This video is brought to you by the new Echo Show 5. Featuring a 5-inch touchscreen, this compact smart display features Alexa, built-in camera, and full functionality with all skills. Get it for $90 with the link in the description below. So recently, I set out to do a couple of server upgrades. As you may know, we have a server rack in our garage, and the router in that, which I talked about previously, doesn't have the best cooling. It's getting hotter outside, and in the garage, it's getting a little bit warmer, even though it is temperature controlled in there. So I figured it's time for a fan upgrade, and I got these Noctua fans. They are known as the best fans in the industry. They're the fans you should get, and they're superior when it comes to cooling. But they're more expensive, and are they really that good? We'll go ahead and check that out. So as I said, I picked up these fans for my server rack, 2 of them to go inside my router, and 1 of them to replace the top case fan in the actual rack. And I picked Noctua because they are known to be the best when it comes to cooling and sound. I needed something that was going to be really quiet, but also very powerful and enough to do the job. The fans I currently have are like 50 years old, and they came with the rack and the router that I have, which are both very bad when it comes to cooling. Temperatures are around 32 degrees inside the router, which isn't crazy, but it's a little bit toasty in there. And the reason why I picked up Noctua fans is because of the sound. I want it to be super quiet, something that you wouldn't really hear or notice at all, and would also do a very good job. And I think Noctua fans have been known for that before, and that's the reason why I got them. But is that true that they are going to be very high performance and super quiet? So just a quick rundown of everything we got. I've got 2 40mm fans that will go inside of the router. I got a 120mm fan, which will go in the top of the rack. And I got a fan controller. This is going to be to control the fan that's in the top of the rack. I can change the speed of it if I need it to go faster or slower. And I don't have to unplug it during the winter. I can just kind of turn it down, and it will always kind of be running and working good. So aside from the ugly fan color, inside the box, we also get a ton of accessories. All of them come with mounting screws, with rubber anti-vibration mounts as well. They come with extension cables, low noise adapters. The 40mm fans also come with ultra low noise adapters, and the 120mm fan comes with a Y splitter. And the 40mm ones, because they are intended for use inside of a server situation, they come with their very own cables that you can splice together, cut, and hardwire the fan into the power system, which is crazy. If you ever want to do that, you can. So first thing we got right here is an audio sample of the 2 fans inside the router and the top fan inside the rack. I'll give you a listen to that and see how it sounds. And now I did amplify that just a little bit so you can actually hear it, but I'm amplifying the final product the same amount, so it's going to be the same. Then I took the original top fan in the rack, put that a foot away from a piece of paper, and saw how much the paper moved. As you can see, it moved quite a bit. If I put it at 6 inches, it moves almost to 12 inches. So it has about 6 inches of deflection on the bottom of the paper, which is pretty good, but it is incredibly loud. Take a listen to this. So yeah, it's very, very loud. The fan originally was just super crazy. It actually plugs directly into an outlet, so it's 120 volts compared to 12 volts on these. But I think that the Noctua fan does a pretty good job with less power. So if we take our piece of paper, again, put it at 12 inches, it doesn't move nearly as far as the original fan, and it's about 4.5 to 5 inches of deflection at the 6-inch mark. But take a listen to this, it's very quiet. So we get a much, much quieter result with just a tiny bit less performance. In fact, the 120mm fan runs at 2000 RPMs, and it's at 22.6 decibels at full speed. This is a 4-pin PWM fan, so you can use a controller to adjust it at any amount down to off. Now, the very cool thing about all of Noctua's fans is that they are highly engineered to sound quiet and work good. They got a metal bearing shell with a metal reinforced hub, and all of the fans have flow acceleration channels to give you more airflow with less speed, meaning less noise. And I feel like that was definitely the case. Without my scale testing with a piece of paper, I would have thought the Noctua was actually better performing than my old case fan. The fan itself, I could feel much more air coming out of it when I just held it up to my hand compared to the other one. Given that the top of the server rack and the top of the router are very close to each other, there's not a lot of space for air to get in between. And that's one of the strong suits of the Noctua fans actually, is that they're able to perform very well in closed corridors. These are especially useful for use on radiators and CPU coolers where it's pressed up against something, but it's still able to pull air through. That's one of the strong suits of this and why it actually works surprisingly well inside my server rack with limited space available. Now, the 40mm fans work and look very similar to the 120mm fan. They install perfectly fine inside of my router. Put everything back together, turn on all 3 fans to full speed using the fan controller, and take a listen to the final result. Sounds pretty good. It's a lot quieter, but one thing I also noticed was that the high-pitched annoying fan hum from previous usage is actually now gone. It's more of a dull, lower-pitched rumble than a high-pitched fan noise. For me, that actually sounds better. It is still audible, but not nearly as loud. Now, even more is that the fan are actually doing their job quite well. Now, it was a fairly warm day when I took my measurement of the previous fans, and that was 32 degrees Celsius inside the router on the CPU. Now, it's been a little bit cooler since, and it's only been on for about 2 days or so, so not the best results, but I'll let you know in the comment section if it changes. But right now we're sitting at about 17 degrees, so that's a very, very big difference in temperature with these fans. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. They do their job quite well. The 120mm fan was about $30. I think around $20 or $25 for the 40mm fans. These are more expensive than the competition, but not by a ton. Be Quiet fans are anywhere from $20 to $30, and I think these ones do a quite amazing job as well. You get a ton of stuff in the box, even if you don't use it all. It's really nice to have, and they have all the special engineering and technology done to make them work really well, produce amazing airflow, and also be really quiet. I think if noise and airflow is one of the biggest concerns, especially noise, these are definitely the way to go. You have to get Noctua fans. They're known as the best for a reason, and that is because they are super quiet and also really good. So there you go. Are Noctua fans worth it? Of course, they're worth them extra money. And even that, they're not a ton more money than the competition if you don't care about the RGB or the color. But that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, leave a like and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. This is Mark with That Tech, and I will see you in the next one.